All right, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the RMIT training webinar. Gives me great pleasure to talk to you this afternoon or this morning, wherever it is you are in the world. My name's Jake Heinrich, and I'm the Executive Director for RMIT Training, and I look after the commercial side and the operations side. And I'd like to introduce you to the team of presenters here for this afternoon's session. So I'll just move from left to right of the screen. So I'll introduce Jason Pearce and ask him to give a quick wave. Jason looks after the communications and our student support side. And in the middle, we've got Travis. Give us a quick wave. So Travis is one of our educators who'll speak to us later about one of the demonstration lessons. And then to the far right of the screen, we've got Catherine O'Sullivan, who's our CEO, Chief Executive Officer. So you'll be hearing from these guys over the next 60 minutes. So just a quick lay of the land in regards to the format for today's webinar. Catherine's going to, we're going to have a little video in a few minutes' time before Catherine formally greets us. Then we'll talk a little bit around the online products that RMIT Training is currently delivering. Then Travis is going to walk us through a demonstration of a recent lesson that was taught online in the English language stream. Jason's going to talk to us about student support, and then at the end there's opportunity for questions and answers. And we'll also be taking throughout the session questions in the chat box, so feel free to drop your questions in the chat box and we'll come back at the end and develop those into FAQs. But guys, again, welcome to the session. It's great to be talking to you guys, the agents who I'm sure are located all over the world. And I'd just firstly like to say and sort of communicate some wishes. And obviously it's a very difficult time for everyone. The whole of the RMIT community, obviously globally as well within this health situation, it's a major concern. So it's really great to be able to reach out and connect to you guys, the agents today, who play such a pivotal role in what it is that we all do. And that's connect with students and really provide those lifelong opportunities for education and betterment. So, again, I just reiterate how important you guys are as stakeholders and part of what we do in our core business. So I'll click over to a short video now, which is just going to highlight, again, some of the work that the broader university and as well RMIT Training has done in the online learning space. And I'll come back in a couple of minutes. So we'll cross to the video.
Our world is rapidly changing. For many of us, the scale of what is happening in the global community we have never experienced before. 2020 will be like no other year. As we go into lockdown across the world, people are transitioning to working from home, and education is moving online. Recognising the critical importance of education, the Australian Government and relevant education agencies have specified that all students, whether they live in Australia or overseas, can still attain an Australian qualification through online study. In times like these, we need to realise that online study, technology, and flexible ways of learning have been part of our lives for a long time now, and are certainly part of our future. At RMIT, we don't want our students to miss out on a semester or a year of study if we can help it. We want our students and global community to continue on their education journey as best they can. In over 100 years, we have not stopped, and we don't want you to now. We're in this together. We're one of Australia's original tertiary institutions. We're a global university of technology, design and enterprise, and a world leader in many subjects. RMIT knows the importance of providing excellence in education across any platform. Hundreds of our courses are already available online. We've done our best to move the remaining courses online quickly, while not compromising on quality of education and student outcomes. These are some of the many benefits in studying online and continuing on with your education. You can attend classes easily from wherever you are. You have more control over the time you spend studying. You continue to be informed and access RMIT's global knowledge. you connect with other students and form valuable networks and communities. In today's workforce, employers are looking for staff who have the ability to manage well through change and adapt to a new environment. With the world changing, our ways of living are changing too. The importance of using technology to stay connected has never been more important. Studying online supports this connection to community, both locally and globally. As part of RMIT's flexible study options, we're developing important connection points with our students that include weekly videos to outline and recap lessons, discussion with students through online collaboration tools and forums, online drop-in sessions with lecturers, and online learning activities to demonstrate skills and receive feedback. This means you'll get the real-life experience and vocational skills that set RMIT graduates apart. RMIT welcomes you to our world of online study, an engaged digital community where we can connect and learn together, no matter where you are in the world. We're in this together, and we won't let this situation slow us down. Continue your education online today with RMIT.
Just to highlight, one of the main reasons we're here today, and that really is to communicate with all of you that we are very much still providing our language education services online. We, in the last 2 to 3 weeks, we've pivoted fairly quickly into an online delivery service, and that's essentially what we would like to highlight here today. So I'll pass over to Catherine O'Sullivan, the CEO for RMIT Training.
Thanks, Jake. Hello, everyone. It's quite an exciting opportunity to be talking to you all around the world. I can see from the chat room that we certainly have great representation everywhere. We really appreciate you taking the time out this afternoon to spend some time with us. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a brief introduction to who we are and what we do, based on the assumption that many of you will actually know quite a bit. But as Jake said, being able to replicate the fact that we're working online by doing this with you this afternoon gives us an opportunity to sort of demonstrate the skills that we're building quite quickly. So who are we? We are in fact an entity, a subsidiary of RMIT University, based in Melbourne. We're actually in downtown Melbourne, right in the heart of the CBD. Known as RMIT Training, we are in fact a pathways college. So we provide various pathways for students to gain direct entry into the broader university. So many of you will know RMIT University has approximately 95,000 students. It is in fact one of the largest universities in the world. We are known for our excellence in many areas, but particularly anything to do with design, technology and business. And our students find the opportunity to come through a pathways program with us as direct entry is a really valuable asset to them. We actually have about, on average, 3,500 students who transit through RMIT Training each year. Those students then in turn represent 34% of all of the international students at RMIT University. So we are a critical part in the journey for a student who is wanting to continue their journey of lifelong learning at RMIT. Can I say we really have an overriding culture, which is a philosophy about care and concern for our students. Students are at the centre of everything we do. They're at the heart of what we do. Our class sizes are small. We nurture relationships. We, I guess, pride ourselves on the fact that we know the students that we teach quite intimately. We know about their background. We know about their aspirations. And we certainly can provide the support that they need within our own campus in the CBD. Could I say that what's happened over the last few weeks has really challenged each and every one of us to understand how innovative we can be, how responsive we can be, and how in fact we've been talking about being an online sort of provider for many, many years, but never really driven ourselves to do it in the way that we're doing it now. We're inspired by the feedback from our teachers and our students that this current mode of delivery is working very well, and it's certainly going to stay as a permanent fixture at RMIT training. Now, with that, I'm going to hand over to Jake, who's our Executive Director of Commercial Operations. Just want to say a really big thank you again. I'm looking forward to hoping to see you face to face at some point in time, and enjoy the afternoon, and thank you very much.
Thanks, Catherine. So just to start to get into some of the details of the programs before we get in and actually have a look at a demonstration lesson of one of our English language classes delivered online. We offer 2 pathway programs through RMIT training, one being the REW English for Academic Purposes program, which is an academic English program preparing students' English language skills, as well as academic literacies for higher education. One of the unique aspects of this program is that it's a direct entry program. So that means that upon the successful completion of the higher level, of the advanced level, that students can articulate directly into higher education at RMIT, and that's without taking an international benchmark test like IELTS or TOEFL or IBT. Secondly, we offer a foundation studies program, which we offer in 3 streams. And just to talk a little bit about that essentially is a full-time program that's offered throughout a full year. Again, in those 3 streams, firstly of art, design and architecture, secondly in business, and thirdly in science, engineering and health. So you'll see the entry requirements there in regards to commencing that foundation program in terms of English language, as well as regular schooling requirements of equivalent of grade 12 or grade 11, I should say, in Australia with D averages. And depending upon where you are in the world, there might be slightly different academic requirements for that grade 11. So I would suggest to clarify that you access the admissions page and check for your specific situation. English for Academic Purposes, the English language program. Again, we offered this, in the past, we've offered this fully face-to-face here in Melbourne. Again, with those beautiful facilities that you would have seen throughout Catherine's slideshow. We've got a whole range of students that attend those classes, over 50 different countries. The class sizes are very intimate, very small, 18 per class, which gives us maximum opportunity for students to both produce language as well as get a sense of individualized feedback in order for them to best improve their language and progress through those levels. So it's this class that we're going to actually have a look at a demonstration for today. What I would say though as well is that right now we are teaching both streams, both foundation studies and RMIT English Worldwide, so our academic pathways program. We're teaching both of these fully online. So we have students who are both at home in Melbourne, who are here in Australia, as well as students who are abroad that are attending classes each and every day, interacting with their teachers, interacting with other students, accessing a range of support services, and doing this all from the comfort. Well, I certainly hope it's comfortable, but doing it from the comfort of their own home. So it's again, as Catherine said, it's a unique situation, and we're very proud that we can maintain that education pipeline for these students in what is quite a difficult period. So the online courses as they are, we offer in almost the exact same format in regards to learning outcomes to guarantee that students are reaching those levels that they need to. We also have the same academic support services around that, which Jason will talk about later. And more importantly is we make sure, or we have quite a number of means by which we allow and encourage students to connect with each other. Again, it's really important at this time that students are able to talk to their peers, their friends, their classmates, and to be able to share some of the learnings and share and collaborate in some of the projects that we would set up for them online. So at this point, I'd like to introduce you to Travis Coleman, who is an RMIT educator based here in Melbourne. And Travis is going to introduce us to the demonstration lesson that Travis taught himself. So I'll pass over to Travis right now.
Hi, everyone. My name's Travis, so I'm one of the teachers. The lesson you're going to see today is an academic writing lesson, and it's a snippet of it. You'll see some of the things that we can do, and you'll see the students interacting. And so let's just play the video now. Hi guys, welcome to class. How are you today?
Hello.
Good, thank you.
Hi Lenka.
How are you?
Hi. Good, good. So can you put your hand up, please, if you can hear me? Great. If you can't hear me, or you're having problems, just type in the chat to REW Online Support and they'll help you. Okay. Just what we're going to do today is we're going to go through the writing that we did yesterday and the reading that we did yesterday, and we're going to review what's a summary. So first we'll go to what's a summary Kahoot, then we're going to do some group highlighting in here, then we're going to go into our pairs and start writing a practice summary, and then there'll be a peer correction for homework, and we'll go through that all together. Can you tell me if you agree or disagree? If you understand, can you put agree, please? Okay. Okay. And Marty, can you raise your hand if you understand and you agree? Great, perfect. Okay guys, so we're going to go across to a Kahoot, so I'll share that with you here. Okay, what we're going to do now, guys, is we're going to go and do a Kahoot that will review kind of some of the rules of summaries that I've taught you. Can you raise your hand if you know how to use Kahoot? Okay. Does anyone have any questions about Kahoot or about how to use it? If you do, you can just ask me. Okay, we'll start. I'm going to share my screen with you, and then you use your mobile phone to answer the questions, remember. Okay, the PIN number is about to come up, so go to this web address and put this PIN number in and choose your nickname. Polly was first, then Anna, Lenka, Marty, and we're just waiting on Tony. Okay, Tony, I think has a question.
Yeah, it's not letting me. Hold on, don't forget to enter your nickname. And when I'm trying to enter my nickname...
Yep, if you just put Tony, it should work.
Yeah, that's right. There you go.
Okay, brilliant. Okay, are you ready? We're about to start.
Yep.
Yes, I am.
Here you go. So remember, it's a race. Go. This one is easy. Okay, someone got it wrong, but let's see. Okay, so Anna, you were the quickest. Tony, you got it wrong. What happened?
Sorry.
That's okay. So Lenka was quick, Polly and Marty. Okay, we're going to the next question. Are you ready for the next question?
Yep.
Okay, ready, go. Okay, everybody answered. Everybody got it right. Well done, guys. Excellent. Marty was the quickest. Marty's gone to number one, but look, there's only 2 points difference between Marty and Lenka, and Anna is 1 point behind. Tony, you have to hope that some people get some questions wrong. Next question. Fill the blank. Okay, someone got support ideas. Okay, so Lenka put support ideas. Remember, Lenka, support ideas only come in the discussion. In this summary, you only have the main ideas.
Okay, I will remember.
Okay, next. Okay, we're waiting for one person. Okay, ooh, only 3 people got it right. So let's see. So Anna, Tony, and Lenka. So remember, reporting verbs are the ones that we use. So believe, claims, states, the ones that show that it's not your idea. Oh, you only have 3 seconds. Okay. Your critical response for level 6 should be about 100 to 120 words, about 1 paragraph. It can be a little bit longer or a little bit shorter. That would be okay as well. Are you ready for the last, I think the last question, I can't remember. Ready?
Yep.
Ready.
Let's go. So Tony, you're now in the lead. So from getting the first question wrong, Tony, congratulations, you're now on number 1. Marty, try and get the last one. Let's see how you go. Good. Most of you feel ready for your exam. No one put green, teacher help. That's a good thing. So now we're just going to go back to, I'll stop sharing my screen and we'll go back to the classroom. Good work, guys. Thanks for that. So remember, yeah, so only the year is necessary when you're doing your summary. We're now going to go to step 3, which is the paired writing. So what I'll do is I'll put you into breakout groups and we'll go to our class folder in OneDrive, and group 1, you'll be working on document called group 1, and group 2, you'll be working on the document called group 2. What you're doing in there is you're going to try and write a summary on the reading from page 20, Money Down the Drain, and I'll come in and help you and talk to you about that. Can you put your hand up if you are okay with that? Great. Okay, let's go. Hi, Lenka. Hi, Tony. I'm having a look at what you're writing.
Oh, yeah.
Can you see? Can you see this word here that I'm highlighting?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, it's a little too informal. So there's other words that we could use instead. So I'm going to suggest that you use a different word. So I'll just type it in for you. So can you see I've changed states because it's a little bit more formal?
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
And just remember the date can go either here or it can go after their name as well.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay,
So do you
keep
want us
going
to change this?
No, that's fine actually. Keep it there. So that's actually fine right now. So
Okay.
keep going through and you've got about another 15 minutes to keep going to write your 120 words and just go back to the plan that we did.
Okay. Thank you.
And make sure you talk to each other and get each other's help.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Great.
All right. Okay. Let's finish this, Lenka.
All right.
Okay.
Do you want me to write, or are you happy to continue with this one?
Yeah, I can write it.
Okay. We can stop filming now. Okay. Hi guys, I'm now in your group 2. And I'm going to come across and have a look at your writing that you're doing in group 2 doc. How are you going?
Yeah, I think we're going well.
So far, so good.
Citations.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at what you've written so far. So in his article, there's something missing from, I'll highlight this for you. See the bit that I've done yellow? There's something missing in there. You need something else. There's 3 parts of the citation. So you have the name of the article and you have the name of the author. What's missing?
Of the year?
Yeah, so the year can go, you can change that to be a different. So if you can put the year in there somewhere, perfect. Yep. And also, Polly or Anna, yeah, Marty's corrected some of the title as well for you. So can you see what he's doing? He's taking the capitals down because the title needs to look exactly the same as what is written in the article that we're copying. Okay, great. Let's have a look and see if there's anything else. So I'll unhighlight that for you now. And then there's another part here. I'm just going to highlight it for you now. This is not quite right. I've highlighted something that's not quite right. At the start is not something we would generally say here. Yep, in the beginning's fine. There's a little bit of an error here, so I'll correct it. Or you could also use, oh, sorry, Anna. You could also use to start with. So choose Polly and Anna, you're both writing at the same time. So choose one and then go ahead. So I'll get you another about 10 or 15 minutes to work here. Are you guys okay with that? I'll come back. Thanks, guys. So we have now, you've done your writing. So what we're going to do now is, I corrected some of the errors that I saw, but what I want you to do is you're going to look at the other groups for homework tonight. So Lenka and Tony, you're going to look at group 2, and I want you to highlight some of the errors that they've done and to rewrite it for them. And so Anna, Marty, and Polly, you're going to do group 1. So the same thing. You can correct any of the errors, and then tomorrow we'll come back in and we'll show the corrections and see what happened. Is everyone okay with that?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, sounds great.
Okay. And so that's your homework, and that's it. Class is over. So thank you for coming today, and I'll see you tomorrow at 10:30.
Thank you,
Trevor.
Trevor.
Thank you.
So that was a lesson that has been edited, obviously, so it was a lot shorter, and it was focused on writing. What you didn't see a lot of in that lesson was a lot of the video and a lot of the speaking. In all of our levels and everything I teach, we have lots of the students sending their videos on. We put them into small groups and they talk to each other and they talk to the teacher as well. This was just because it was a writing lesson. We took them other places. Now I'll just talk about a little bit about my experience in the classroom. Going across to digital and teaching online, I thought that it would be a lot of me standing up the front and talking to the students. And it kind of was very different to what I thought. It's actually not that much different to the classroom. In general, we just use different tools. So the classroom is digital, but I still correct their writing. I still talk to my students. I still ask them how they're going. I still know about their problems and what they're doing in their life. And I still give them too much homework and I still have to mark their homework. So it feels very similar. It's just that we're all in different places. With the different tools, we still try and make every lesson engaging. So that's with some of the quizzes. So with that Kahoot, there's actually very loud music that goes with it as well. That most of my students by the end of my class know the theme song to Kahoot. But we try and make it as engaging as we can. It's still very academic. and it's still very, very collaborative. We still like the students to work with each other, to learn off each other, and to ask us questions. And we try and keep it as interactive as we can. So we use lots of different things to show that students understand. They also know that they can ask me a question whenever they want. And to be honest, teaching online is a very versatile way of teaching. So there's lots of opportunities that we have with teaching online. We can bring in lots of different programs and lots of different applications, and they really support what we're trying to do, which is to get them to a level of English, to a level of academic English that they can use to go through university. And so that's kind of just a snapshot of what we do. Now what I'll do is I'll hand over to Jason, who's going to talk about student support.
Thanks very much, Travis. So having a look here with what we've been doing with student support, it wasn't actually a result of the coronavirus situation that actually promoted the move to online. RMIT is a huge organization that obviously has 95,000 students that are delivered to online through the Pathways programs and then through all levels of education at the university as well. So the need to develop online products was kind of on the cusp anyway. We saw a lot of the activity moved forward. Within the RMIT training space, what you will see students engaging with is an emphasis around supporting outside of the academic language. So we talk about things like T graduates and so forth, where we look at soft skills. So we try to improve their conversational capabilities, their team working capabilities, things like that. Is everyone able to hear me okay? Just quickly, I'm just seeing no audio on the side. Yep, cool. So basically, what we look at is ways that we can support them around their academic learning as well. Now, the ways that we do that is through social media. So we run Facebook pages, Instagrams. We're looking at podcasts and video engagement options. So just this week, we've seen things like cooking, other various activities that they can engage with at home. We've seen reaching out Canvas shells. So Canvas is our learning management system, but this is actually where they can engage with things around their well-being and engaging with their community. Study success is the additional academic support they can receive. There's also a move to push our mentoring programs online. So we're actually trialing a few different platforms at the moment, but the one that we seem to be leaning towards is a new company called Vigo. And we also deliver our counseling sessions. So students who are sort of experiencing high levels of stress can still reach out and chat with counselors. Now, RMIT Training also has a fantastic relationship with the university as well. So what the university is doing is a whole different range of products as well that we can actually drive our students to in relation to online engagement. So their mentoring programs are online now, and they work closely with our mentoring program so that the students actually have a handover in their pathways. They're doing proactive things like looking at Spotify, looking at esports, and looking at their gaming communities as well. We actually have one of the leading esports teams in Australia. We've got online acting classes, which are great soft ways for students learning English to improve their skills, as well as things like online choirs, creative salons, things like intro to stand-up comedy, which once again are really great ways for students to be in low stress environments to try and improve their English in a more conversational or I guess experimental context. And obviously we're looking at how we can engage them as well. So there's a Get Redbactive campaign. So the mascot of RMIT University is a spider called a redback. And you'll find that they're doing a whole series of different challenges throughout the week to get students and staff engaged with each other to stay active. And there's also a dance program, which has been quite popular with students on campus, and now they've taken that online as well. And RMIT training students in particular have been really engaged in that program. So there really is no shortage of stuff online, and we can't wait to see what it looks like once we're able to deliver both online, because we'll see the capacity grow in both spaces. So it should be a really exciting time. I might hand it back to Jake now just to wrap up and let us know what we do next. But thank you for listening, everyone.
Thanks, Jason. And looking at some of those activities, I mean, I think someone literally might be doing some RMIT dance next door to me now. I'm not sure if you can hear any of that banging, but it certainly sounds like one of our energetic students jumping away. Look, I think it's really, really important, some of the sort of additional activities that we've created in this new digital world to really, again, just create some sense of community and really to connect with students to make sure that they know that they're not alone. You know, this is a trying time. I mean, the reality is that we're all at home. As I'm sure a lot of you agents and our friends and community in the broader world are at home as well, and that's difficult. It's not an easy situation to be in, but we can really try as hard as we can and offer our students as much support as we can to make sure that they've got as much positive atmosphere around them to know that they can continue their education pathway online in a really caring and supported manner. And that's really important to all of us. You know, as you've seen through the demonstration lesson that Travis has given, you know, we can still really maintain that connectedness, that sense of teacher connecting with the individual student and making sure that they're getting the right feedback in order to progress their skills and continue on their study journey. So the wraparounds and all of the additional services that we have are really in place to make sure that no one's left behind, that we can keep all of our students progressing towards their study goals. So guys, that sort of brings us around to a close, and I'm going to throw the chat room open for any questions you might have at this point. We'll endeavour to answer any questions now, and as well we will go through the chat room and pull out questions that we can put as FAQs for later. But what I would say as well before we go to those Q&As is that we're here to support. We know that it's again a trying time, and we want to make sure that you have got all of the information that you need in order to consult students, in order to consult your customers, in order to consult within your communities as to what a study pathway might look like. And I would say any time that you've got any questions about our products or about how our students are supported or taught, please jump in and ask those questions straight away, because we'd love to give you that support and make sure that you've got as much information as you can. So with that, I will read out a few questions and I'll throw to the panel, hopefully who have answers ready. First question's one for you, Trav. And Sugna has asked how a speaking lesson would work how a speaking lesson would work online. Would it be one-on-one?
The platform means we can do lots of different things with speaking. So we can have the whole class speaking together. We can have little groups where students are speaking to each other in a smaller breakout group. I can take a student into a breakout group one-on-one with me. And it depends on the levels, and it depends on how we're doing. We still have speaking assessments going through as well. We have tutorials where the students participate in academic speaking. And it's really, the only difference is that we're not physically sitting in the same room. And we're learning a few of the things about how to get multiple people on the same screen. So if you saw, there was, I think, 4 people on the same screen in one of my captures. That's kind of what will happen. So we can see all 4 people, and then if the teacher speaks, will pop up as well. So it's flexible. We can do any different kind of speaking we want, really, from one-on-one to group.
Okay, thanks, Travis. The next question from Stephen Knunsden has asked, how is end-of-course testing done online? And I'm happy to answer that one for you, Stephen. Look, a lot of our testing actually occurs throughout the whole term, the whole period that students are learning. So one thing we've tried to move away from, even before we started teaching online, was the added pressure that an end-of-course test creates for students. So we're very much testing throughout the whole class and the whole course. But then again, we also have an end of course test because we need to make sure that students are at the right level in order to progress to the next level. So a lot of that, again, is done online. I mean, the speaking test, that's fairly easy. That's a one-to-one with the teacher, or occasionally might be done with pairs. Writing tests, again, can be done with an online environment with students using Google Docs and having a video on them to make sure that they're not being creative with some of their research throughout an exam. Reading and writing and listening can be done through what we call a proctor service. So essentially what that means is an exam's done whilst a camera is on the student, just ensuring that the validity or the safety of that test is solid. So that gives us a really, safe means by which of assessing students' ability to progress. Okay, so we've got another question from Ramyard, and he's asked, what's the feedback from students? Any difficulties or issues that they face? And Trav, I might throw that one to you if you don't mind.
The feedback from students is generally pretty positive. Some students enjoy it a lot more because they feel very confident digitally. Some students are finding it a little bit more difficult because they're not as digitally able to use the platform, but we're there to help them. We have an online support in every single classroom so the teacher can just keep teaching. So the students will ask our online support for help with the technology. And the feedback is generally been pretty good. We also take a poll of students to see how the lessons are going. And so far, the students are really enjoying it.
Okay, good.
Yeah, and also, Jake, I think it's worth mentioning that we did survey the students as a whole college at the end of the first week, and we're continuing to do that. But we really wanted to know whether there was any low-hanging fruit that needed that we could adapt to quite quickly. And we found that 85% of our students felt really comfortable with online and were progressing well with it. On the other hand, the other 15% were reaching out and asking for help, so we were able to wrap some support around them quite quickly. And I think the surveying of teachers and students has been happening rapidly and regularly for us to keep improving things.
Great, thanks, Catherine. Another question here from Jasmeet. Apologies if I'm not pronouncing that correctly. Jasmeet's asked, if students are still in their home country, then how is time difference managed with online classes? Great question. So look, we'll be applying a very flexible approach to those classes, and we'll be essentially changing our class times to suit what would be a reasonable time to be studying in different countries. Obviously, the time zones don't afford everyone to be able to study at the perfect time, but we'll change our class times where we can to ensure that students in different time zones are not studying at 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock in the morning. All right, so we've got another question here from Peter Byrne, and I'll throw this over to you, Travis, if that's okay. Peter's asked, do online classes follow a similar format to existing printed manuals? And are students required to maintain their RJs in a format, their response journals in a format that can be remotely addressed?
Hi, Peter. So to answer this, it's pretty similar. The way that what we're required to do as a teacher is still make a lesson plan for the day and still follow it. We've still got course books. The students still have the availability of seeing the course book, and they have a course book as well that we follow. With the RJs particularly, we were already transitioning online or a lot of it had already been transitioned online. So the RJs for 5, 6 and 7 were already online. And so that hasn't really changed. There's a few things that we will be changing about the program we use, because depending on the country that we're trying to do, if we can't use Google, we've got other things like Microsoft Teams that we're slightly changing it to. But the process for us here in Melbourne, we'd already changed to a digital one.
Okay, that's great. We've also got a question here from Christopher, who asks, and perhaps one for you, Trav, how to run a Kahoots game online. Do students need to use 2 screens? Should they be using a laptop, tablet, PC, or their mobile phone?
The easiest way, so the way that I did it in that lesson, and the easiest way is to have the students have the questions. You're running the Kahoot on the screen. So that was me on my computer with the questions, and the students just have their mobile phone. And on their mobile phone, it just comes up with 4 different colors that they have the answer. So once they've logged in, they answer on their mobile phone, and the Kahoot will talk to the computer that I'm on, and they'll see that in the classroom.
Okay, thanks, Travis. Vicky's asked about fail rates, and I'm happy to answer this one. Vicky's asked, what are the failure rates now for ELICOS? I heard some students failed 3 times and some have to transfer to another education provider. How about now? So Vicky, we're very much aware that some students do fail a course in their journey, and I think the most important aspect of that is to make sure that every student is given an opportunity to ensure that they do pass. So in that respect, we have a lot of, what would we say, a lot of opportunities throughout a course to intervene or to support students, or to find out exactly where a student might need support, to make sure that they know both in terms of what they do in class, what they need to work on, as well as what they need to work on outside of class, to give themselves the best possible opportunity to successfully complete that course. So we've got a lot of support services there, both from the teachers as well as from our study success area, who work with students regularly. They conduct workshops outside of class times, in evenings, in the mornings. So students have got, I guess, a whole range of opportunities to connect with that support service, again, to make sure that they successfully complete that course. I think one of the greatest indicators that we've had around success rates has actually been attendance. We know that attendance is very closely tied with performance, and as Catherine alluded to earlier, we're very happy to see the attendance rates extremely high since we've gone online, which again I think is a really good indication that our current students are enjoying their online courses, and it will be great to see those rates continue along. All right. My questions seem to have frozen. Does anyone else pick up anything else there?
There's a question there about cost, Jake. If students are studying online in their country, how will the tuition fee cost?
Okay, I can't see that one, but okay. Well, look, at this point, the fees remain the same as the fees that we have charged traditionally. And one of the reasons is that at this point we're teaching in the exact same manner. Oh, my questions have just popped up as well, and I can see another question there, in fact, about the duration, 4 hours, 5 days a week. And to answer both of those in one, we are teaching the exact same amount of hours that we normally teach. So a student will do their 4 hours a day, 5 days a week. We not only have the teacher in each class, but we also have a moderator who will help out with technical difficulties and support. And we've also got all of our student support services, as Jason noted earlier, working to support the students. So we are ensuring that we have the same quality, that we've got the same support, that we've got the same content, albeit taught through slightly different channels. So that student, or all of the work that those students will do, will be the exact same as they would have in a face-to-face environment, which I hope's answered that 4 hours, 5 day a week question as well, which has just popped up. All right, I don't see any other questions there.
We have got one about a student who is actually enrolled on the 25th of the 5th to start an EAP course. He's still offshore in Thailand, but he hasn't received anything about the course. Will we be contacting the student individually? And the answer to that is yes, we will.
Absolutely. There's an email address here on your screen now. If you haven't been in contact with our admissions team or our sales team, please feel free to direct any inquiries to that email address. We're happy to then put you in contact with the relevant people. So that goes for any inquiries that you have. And if you'd like to ask the presenters today any further questions, again, we'd be happy to reply to you in coming days and answer any inquiries that you've got. So again, please feel free. All right, I don't see any other questions there unless anyone else does.
There's one from Peter that says, is online training available for the use of Canvas? And for my students that we've had, my students are finding Canvas pretty easy to use, but there is also a lot of support for teachers and for students, how to use Canvas, what they need to use it for. There's part of that, I think, is in the reaching out shell, has some of that information in it. And the students generally are having not very much. Most students are literate in how to use it. Some aren't, but we haven't had any students who can't get on and can't get help. So they're all coming to class after they've had that training.
All right. Well, we might close the webinar. Again, guys, it's been a great pleasure to talk to everyone today about what we're doing online. I would just reinforce again that we'd like to be able to continue to connect with all of our students, no matter where they are, and make sure that they're able to reach their goals. If in the future you have any more requests about webinars that we could do to help support you, we'd be more than happy to hear your suggestions. Again, feel free to email that address that's on your screen now and give us any suggestions you have. Before we go as well, I would just also remind you that we have a whole other range of products that we work with. We have an RMIT English training test solutions for the aviation industry in terms of the RELTA and an aviation English program. We also run business English programs, which we can run specifically for different clients based on their needs. So, for example, clients come to us and ask us to help work with their staff in order to upskill them in specific areas of business like negotiation English or conducting meetings or very specific components of doing business. We can help develop courses, or we can develop courses and help your staff or help individuals there. We also do teacher training, and again, we can work with you directly on developing a bespoke program to deliver. We could deliver that here physically in Melbourne once the world returns to normal, or we could develop something online for you as well. So if you've got any inquiries about any of those products, again, feel free to get in touch with us at that email address on your screen. So again, thank you very much for attending this afternoon, and I wish you all good health, and please stay safe with your families, and again, please feel free to get in touch with us. We're more than happy to provide any additional levels of support that you might need. So on behalf of all of the panel and everyone from RMIT Training, thank you very much, and enjoy the rest of the day.